All right, so one of the questions I want to answer right now is what is a pattern? So it's really interesting. I did manage to confuse the kids a little bit today. I spoke about consciousness, frequencies, and patterns. It's a good thing I didn't talk about realities and dimensions. But basically, what a pattern, the way I explained all of these, because it's important to explain them in terms of how they relate to each other. So, a, a consciousness is like your phone's hardware, all the whatever the storage is, what it allows. So your phone might not allow a particular app in it depending on the operating system, right? So your consciousness is like an operating system, okay, or the hardware. If you upgrade your phone, if you upgrade your consciousness, that new consciousness might allow you different apps, okay? So apps are frequencies. So your consciousness is the container for your frequencies. Your frequency is just how you are programmed to behave or to act or to create, or what kind of things you hold on to while you create your reality. So an example of that would be, and I shared this example in the class, right? So maybe you can explain it better based on your child's understanding and like the words they would use. So the example I used in class was, if a person has a frequency that says, and the frequency always has to come true in your life, right? If you resonate at a frequency, all your actions, experiences has to make the frequency come true, okay? So if the frequency is I don't belong, that's it, simple, I just don't belong, then that person running that frequency will, it doesn't matter where they live. One, they will never feel part of the group. It doesn't matter how many meetups they go to, they'll always feel lonely. Okay? It doesn't matter what fancy job they have, they just won't feel like they belong, like they deserve it. Okay? They could work really, really hard to belong, because people that run that frequency will work really hard to belong. So all their attempt, so they'll do things like, anything to look good. So a lot of people like that do philanthropy. They give, they do community service, they do, and I'm not saying community service is wrong, I'm just talking about the frequency that they used to do it. So people like that will, be people pleasers, for example. They just want to belong. They just don't want to be rejected. Do you know what I mean? So they'll find themselves doing things with that frequency, okay? So that's a frequency. The pattern is just like a little branch of a tree. So let's say the frequency is the trunk. The roots are your consciousness, so all the available possibilities. The frequency is your trunk that carries the nutrition, for example, from the roots, and the branches are the patterns. So how you express that frequency. So for a frequency of I don't belong, you could express it by, you could be born with a speech defect. And I'm not saying that's the only way, that's one of the ways. Because if you have a speech delay, for example, you'll always feel like you're not part of the group. You're not able to communicate, you're not able to express yourself. You know what I mean? So that's just a pattern, okay? That makes that frequency of I don't belong come true, which resonates in that consciousness. I hope this example helped. And if you have more ways to explain this, please go ahead and give me some feedback and comments. Thanks. Bye.